Yo, um, what's up? You guys haven't noticed or heard about the rapper Scarface, famous for the Ghetto Boys. He made that song, My Block. He tested positive for coronavirus. Um, I never was a big fan of Scarface like that, but I did like that song, My Block. And guess who's back? He did with Jay-Z and Beanie. So, hope he has a speedy recovery and things go back to normal for Mr. Scarface. Guess who's back? Alright. Um, man, just wanted to do another take it or leave it video going on. I want to say shout out to everybody that rock with my channel. Even the ones that I don't hear from that much no more because I don't know where they're at. Hopefully they're still alive, because this has been like 10 years in the making of me doing these videos. So you never know what's going on with people in the world, man. Things happen, things change, people change. So hopefully everybody's okay. Yeah, I want to talk about these two superstars. Now, when you think of shooting guards, elite shooting guards, like the best of the best shooting guards ever to play basketball, there's only two names that come to mind. Is Kobe and Jordan. That's it. Most people will tell you Jordan, pretty much that's it. But I think Kobe earned his spot now to be called the second greatest shooting guard of all time. Then you got Dwayne Wade in there as number 3, like the wild card. Like most people will tell you Dwayne Wade's the third greatest shooting guard of all time. You won't get much debate out of that. Most people will say Kobe second, Jordan number 1. But then you got guys like James Harden, Klay Thompson. Let's see who else. You could even throw Manu Ginobili in there. These guys they're not known as or in the same echelon as Mike and Kobe. Nobody puts them in the same category as Mike and Kobe. You know what I'm saying? But out of those two players, Klay Thompson and James Harden, which one would you consider not the better player? Which one would you rather have on your team? If you can only pick one. Now, realistically, right? You have one player in Klay Thompson, the guy that's won championships, 3-time championship, but this is not about championships. He's also regarded as one of the greatest shooting guards of all time in terms of shooting. Now, him getting off his own shot is a complete different story. He can, but he can't do it with the best of them, meaning he can be shut down. I have never seen Klay Thompson be considered the number 1 option on a basketball team. Do I want him to be the number 1 option on the basketball team? That's a good question. The question in a nutshell, or in just a flat out answer, you put my back against the wall, I would say no. I think he's a perfect sidekick. I always said Scottie Pippen was a perfect sidekick, but I think Klay Thompson could get that award with him. And Kyrie Irving to a certain extent. You could put Kyrie Irving on that list too as well. For like perfect sidekicks, guys that you just need to have on your team to win. And they're always going to be there, to play that sidekick role. Now, Klay Thompson is a better per shooter than James Harden per se. You know, catch and shoot, better shooter. But as I said in the other video, when it comes to scoring, there's a multi-faceted of ways you can score. And one of those ways to score is by putting the ball down on the floor and scoring. If you could do that, if you could score that way, putting a basketball on the floor and you could score that way, you're going to be a much better scorer. You know, a much better go-to one-on-one scorer. And I think that's what James Harden is. If you break that concept down, I believe James Harden is a better one-on-one scorer, but just not a better shooter in general. Now, as far for James Harden, he is an MVP. He was a numerous MVP candidate for years to come. Something Klay Thompson has never been. You know, like I said, Klay Thompson has never been a number one. James Harden has. And he hasn't had the burden to deal with or to be a James Harden style of player. And James Harden has more on his plate to deal with than Klay Thompson. You know, much more responsibility to deal with. So, now, who would I rather have to put on my team if I'm starting a team? Now, this is a trick question basically because if I have my superstar already, I want Klay. But for argument's sake, let's just say I'm a GM, I don't have the team. And I just have to pick between those two players. I'm going with James Harden. So, as much of a, you know it. So much as a trick question as this is, I'm going with, it's a tough one. I'm going with James Harden because I'm looking at James Harden as my franchise player. So I'm taking James Harden and I'm leaving Klay Thompson. As a GM, this may cost me my job because if Klay Thompson went on to win championships being as a number 2, I still would look stupid taking James Harden. But for argument's sake, I need a franchise player. I'm going with James Harden. So, peace, guys, and be safe out there. You know,